Hello, everyone around the world. I am excited to do live with an interview here that's coming up with a very special guest where we will talk about how to use art and play to tap into your most magical wisdom in business and life. And you see, I have Merlin here behind me, a portrait by Louis Warnock. We're going to be talking about sparkle. So actually, like having this feeling of inner child wonderment and using that as a feel good, magical source for your joy in life, and then also to really get your most heart aligned magical answers from your heart to live your joy life. And you can use that in business and in life, in all life areas. And I have Merlin here. I'm pointing out Merlin because he was actually also a part of an inspiration for me in the book. He's an ascended master in spirit, a mythical figure, but also we can connect. If we listen to our heart, we can connect with even mythical figures like that, a spirit, and finding yeah, like I said, the almost magical answers and support. And it might feel just playful to you, but it can be so powerful. It literally helped me write my book. So to not make it too long for an introduction, I want to present a really magical guest I have with me. She also wrote a book that we'll talk about. Her book is Intuitive Art and How to Have a two-way conversation with your higher self. So she is playing full out. She is a psychic medium and intuitive artist and has an alter persona of an intimate alien. And she's actually showing up as a really sparkling version of herself today. And as we have this sparkling conversation, I'm so excited to welcome Rachel Archelaus. I'm so happy to have you. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to officially introduce you with your bio that people can have a bigger scoop of who I'm talking with and where we're going with this. So Rachel Archelaus here. And my special guest today, she experiences life literally as a multidimensional being. And I will love for you to elaborate after I introduce you. So she has seen and interacted with the non-physical world since her childhood, literally connected and not just fairy tale world like many of us, but literally connected. And she continues to have a rich experience of different beings, star systems, and energies. She is the founder of the Intuitive Art Academy, which teaches people how to have a two-way conversation with their higher selves through color. And yeah, I pointed out her book. That's part of her teachings. She also has a certified intuitive artist program that helps healers, therapists, and coaches to create a lucrative and impactful business using intuitive art. And intuitive art, that book, yeah, exactly. That's also in your bio mentioned. Yeah. And you have a website that we will also show later again, intuitiveart.com. So official welcome. Thank you thank you for being here.
Thanks.
So, as we will be talking about how art and play helps us in our lives, like tell us a bit more about why are you here as a unicorn, and and what does it mean for you to live as a multidimensional being, so people can understand more about it.
Well, first, it's really fun living as a multidimensional being. I mean, we all are. We all have, our body self. We have our intuition, which reaches up into the higher dimensions. So we all are, but I've been aware of it since I was little. And so I've just been able to be more conscious about it. And it's amazing. I love talking to other beings. I love tapping into different dimensions. And I'm here as a unicorn today because Merlin mentioned unicorns on page 151 of your book. And I just thought, well, I channel unicorns, so why don't I just come as a unicorn and we could talk to one?
Oh my gosh, yes, yes, yes. That would be amazing. Thank you so much. Okay. So for everybody, in this book, which is like a springboard in this book that I wrote, we will be talking about this one chapter. I speak with various thought leaders about their view, their take of chapters in the book. And the book itself, to give you a scoop, it's about claiming your desires and sparking your dream life in a playful way. And of course, it has to do with inner game, and playfulness and art can be one of the methods that helps you embrace all those inner stories and transform them and transform your life. And so I'm going to read this chapter that Rachel picked to talk about, because Merlin is in there. This one chapter in there is actually only 2 pages. It's a word from Merlin. I'm going to read this here. See a glimpse of my book here. The magic of play. How this chapter helps. So, you don't know how to play. You don't deserve to play. You don't have time to play. You don't know what play even is anymore, or you want to find out how to play more. This chapter helps you see, feel, and know how magical and important this play energy is, and reconnect with your inner child. Not the one who interferes with work, but the magical child. Get ready for a message from Ascended Master Merlin. And get ready to step into your magical play shoes. Okay, now here comes the message that I channeled from Merlin. Here, welcome. Here's the thing about play prompts. They're like unicorns or rain, effervescent, yet magic is within. You don't play, you stay. You play, you sway. In other words, you need play to get moving forward in your adventure. Yes, forward in your learnings. Also, you need play energy to create miracles. Astrid talks about sparkle frequency, and that's what play helps you experience. That's the frequency where anything becomes possible. Because why? Because you believe in it. So, open your mind back to your child's eyes, believe in miracles, and you can fly. Now, strap your seatbelts if you want. Get ready to play. Pick any play prompt or read. Jump in. So that's his invitation here to play with this book. Awesome. So, Rachel, what comes up for you? I know you can channel all the things. I'm just giving the mic to you. You're here as a unicorn. Why did you pick the chapter, and what does it spark for you, what you just heard me read?
Well, I agree. Like play and curiosity are so powerful because I think our greatest barrier to having our dream life is our own resistance, right?
Mhm.
And the more we sit in one spot, the more resistance will tend to accumulate. And so if we can just get moving, like he's saying, moving in any other direction, even not in a direction that is in our dream life, like anything whatsoever can help us break free from that inertia of not going in that direction that we want, and just opens up the whole world of possibility to us. So it's really beneficial to act like kids and to just go play and do whatever. Like on the next page you're talking about like hopping up in the air, and like that's enough to start.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. And I experienced that myself too. It's like that involves our body, and like I have a card game that is also an intuitive card deck with the book, and it's like super quirky and playful. You're like, what is this? But if you take those play prompts, and some of them are like get on the ground or crawl under a table or something, it puts you literally back into the child's feeling of, because normally we don't do these things, and it can take like just that small moment, like you said, like popping up or something, and suddenly we're like, whoa. And then what happens for me, and maybe you can say how this shows up for you and your clients, because I know you have a coaching program also and you help clients. What happens for me is I literally jump out of my head, as opposed to trying so hard. Like when things get heavy and I try too hard, try to figure everything out. breaking it loose, jumping or dancing, using creativity, suddenly I'm like, I'm feeling good. And then I'm not thinking in that moment, right? It's like this, just joy and feeling amazing. Um, that's when those awesome higher answers can pop in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a story of I know we're talking also to grown-ups here. So a story of like how that showed up for people in their business. And I know you're using all of that in your own business. Any sort of before and after story that comes to you, how when you work with clients with this creativity.
Yeah, well, it's all about getting to ease for me. Like,
Mhm.
Einstein said we can't solve a problem with the same consciousness that created it. And so
Right.
we have to go to the solution level in order to have breakthroughs, in order to get those great ideas, in order to feel better. So I'm all about, which, you're all about too, just like finding the joy, finding the happiness, finding the relief, finding the ease.
Yep.
And then you'll be flooded with answers. You'll be flooded with solutions and clients and money. And like, we just have to get ourselves out of that place where we think we have to solve every problem with our brain, because
Yep.
it's not the case. Like, it's already solved.
Mhm.
You just have to align with the solution.
Nice. Just align with a solution. That is so awesome. Ah, so let's talk a bit more about the intuitive art. And I want to say for everybody, this book has been a springboard for me, really. It was so funny. Okay, here's my story. Um, I, uh, I actually got spirit guidance in a coaching session for me to, hey, just play with colors in a coaching call with a client and see what happens. And just draw and tell them, hey, I just got inspired to do this. Are you cool if I just play and draw and then see what happens? And I did that, and I shared the drawing with them, and it was so powerful for them. It gave them meaning, and it had symbolism and helped them find business answer in the moment and knowing self-care things they could do for themselves. And so the funny thing is, after I was done with that call, I was like, that felt awesome. And suddenly I remembered I had Rachel's book. And so it was like this awesome alignment. That was also because I was playing, the answer came to me that I already had the resource there. The solution was already there. And that's when I started actually reading your book, because I had bought it before, and I just like, when you're not in the right place, not the right moment, I had put it away, but that was the right moment for me. And then I found your really cool method that really inspired me to take it further. And then I'm still using the core of your method now to get answers with art and see it on paper and find the answers of my heart, and also help people do that. It is so fun. So tell us more about the book, anything, because I want to give you a spotlight with that too. It's such a useful tool and fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, the book is all about having a two-way conversation with your higher self and like giving context to your intuition, like getting
Mhm.
to know your insides, your feelings, and even beyond time and space. Like, because of course, your higher self isn't bound by those things. And so you can ask, what will this look like if I make this decision? And what's
Mhm.
coming up next for me? And what's my first step to accomplishing this? Or you can ask anything, and you're not limited to like wait for that yes or no feeling in your body, which is
Mhm.
really what most people experience intuition as. But the book also goes into more of my personal story about how I was like super introverted, super shy, like had a really hard time getting myself out there in the world, and but how I did it and how I used intuitive art to help build my confidence after my marriage broke up. And,
Mhm.
just like wherever you're starting from, when you read that, you'll be like, oh, okay, she's done it too in this spot. And
Yeah.
I can do it. It's going to be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I felt like that too, and it was really awesome that you shared that with the world. Yeah, thank you for that. Ugh. So let's tap into. You mentioned that you can tap into other. entities and channel messages, and like you said that we could connect with the unicorn energy or with Merlin. We did with Merlin already. Like what are you getting for this conversation, if you tune into the energy, the wisdom of unicorns? What is coming to you?
Oh, well, you can ask. I will get them.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay, so you just ask any question you want, and I will bring it in.
oh my goodness. Okay. And we have people watching, and I will get to all the comments later. I'm actually, I want to get the questions from people also. So I'm going to go on Facebook to see that here. So give me
Well,
one.
we're here whenever you want to chat.
Awesome. Thank you. That is awesome. So I would love to hear the first question is, simply what you feel people need to hear most right now, from your wisdom, to have a more awesome life and to help them in their life right now. Because I know there's a lot of non-joy happening in the world right now. What tip would you give to people?
Well, the reason you don't see us around much is because we decided a long time ago to follow our own path, to be in the world that we want to be in, to create what we want to create, and to not worry about what other people say or what they're doing. So you can build yourself a little fortress of yourself. Build yourself up with those boundaries so that you aren't considering other people's reactions before you act. That will really help you find that place of joy, because that is why you are here. You have the capacity to live in joy, right? You can feel it. You can feel it. Why not? Why not go there more? Really, the only reason is because others are watching. So if you can ignore that, build yourself a world to play in, that is really where you'll see big change.
Okay, I love that. Thank you so much for that wisdom. And I love that you use the word build yourself a fortress. I know it sounds very playful. It sounds like finding a corner in your room and building a fortress and having fun with it, which I take could be a thing that we can do. Or we could use it as a metaphor and thinking of where we can set healthy boundaries to play in areas where we feel safe, and find friends who support that. And I happen to have a group like that, a spiritual entrepreneur group. And I know there are a lot of spaces out there where we can just follow our heart to find spaces where we can play. And depending on what your life focus is, right? And have somebody watching, hi Suman, in India. And that's in the field where I'm currently serving, in the cancer field, and supporting cancer patients to find their empowerment and their joy and wellness. And so there's also groups for that where you can feel safe and inspired to do that. And I want to say that I know from my own journey of thriving and using Sparkle, even in the health area in life, that when we tap into that art and playfulness, that is actually, I experience it as a healing energy. It is, joy just feels amazing. And the cells in the body, that's where we tap into the thriving, right? Do you get what's your unicorn take on that? The health.
Well, yes, when you are sparkling, when you are in joy, you are whole with your energy, right? All the way up to source. So of course there can be no ill there. There can be, right? If there is a lack of worry, there is a healing happening. So anytime you are focused on the positive, or that smile comes to your face, you are one, you are whole, you are healed.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you shared that. Thank you so much for having shared that. This will be so priceless for so many people. That for me, that goes back into when we say permission to sparkle, permission to play, right? And then trust that that actually is where we tap into magic, also for health, for anything, manifesting anything, right? Wow. So, okay, Rachel, can you also, I can talk to you and the unicorns at the same time?
You can, yeah. Not like, yes, we'll just say yes.
um, I'm curious, what would you, as the author of your intuitive art book, what would you want to know from the unicorns to bring to the world, like to underline your message, or what have you seen is like the biggest obstacle to playing? I know they addressed like that other people thinking of what other people think, that can be an obstacle. I get it. But is there anything else that you've seen in your world that people can step through, that you step through, and in order to experience more magic? What comes to you, or what would you want to ask the unicorn?
Well, I mean, I think your book title kind of gets to that. It's like we don't realize how much in charge we are, right?
Mhm.
Like we are the bosses of our lives. And it might not feel like that sometimes. It might feel like, well, we have all these obligations and we need to make money and all that. But that stuff takes care of itself when we take care of ourselves.
Yes.
So,
Yes, yes, yes.
like, yeah, we just like I don't know if you can feel it, but their energy is so certain and solid and boundaried. Like they use the word fortress. Like that
Yeah.
is a several feet thick stone building, right? Like
Wow.
they are not playing around. They are non-negotiable, living their authentic
Yeah.
selves. And I feel like that's the thing I'm trying to embody most these days. And
Nice.
when we can do that and give ourselves permission to like live happily no matter what's happening,
Hmm.
that's like the key for me and what I learned from them the most.
Oh, that's so amazing. How can people tap into unicorn energy and getting answers? Would you also recommend using intuitive art, or?
Yeah, you can channel anything with intuitive art. So just like you'd be talking to your higher self in a regular drawing, just have
Mhm.
the intention be that you're connecting with the unicorns or a loved one.
Mhm.
We teach all of that in my certification, but just use the intention and get that going, and you'll be able to feel the difference. Like they have a definite feeling to them, and so when you're connected, you'll know, and get that message. Like get communicating. They're everywhere, so they're happy to talk.
That is so exciting. So I want to show your book, like, because we're just mentioning it again. If anybody just pops in right now, here's a recipe how you can tap into that wisdom for yourself and play with art and actually also get answers from unicorn energy or from Merlin, your higher self, all the awesome helpers on the other side. So I want to share another access point with people who might have a little bit of resistance to even the spirit world. I know you're super open, and you grew up with that openness, and I know you have a bunch of interesting stories actually growing up and seeing ghosts and things like that, and you had to figure out how to operate with that. And I know for people who didn't, it can be scary, or like we're just not used to that, or we think, oh, that's not real. How would you say, or the unicorns even, that people can access, lose a fear around this world? Like, how can you safely tap into the wisdom of that world? And maybe you can introduce us a bit more of like what is on that other side that we don't see, because most people don't see what you see.
Well, I mean, in terms of being afraid, like I totally get it. I've been there. And if you think about the spirit world as like a big version, a big see-through version of our world, like there's
Mm.
some bad people in our planet, right? But mostly 99% of everyone are friendly and wonderful and loving and would help you out. And there are smarter ones and not so smart ones, and there's specialized ones that, I wouldn't go to a plumber if I'm looking for a mechanic. Like,
Yeah.
so the spirit world, you just want to have your intentions really
Mhm.
clear. Like, you want to be in a good mood.
Yeah.
Try not to use desperation as a means of communicating because that puts you at a lower vibration. So be
Hmm.
in a good mood, be clear, and ask specifically for what you want. I want to connect
Mhm.
with this person. I want to connect with
Mhm.
this topic. I want to connect with this angel, or I want helpful information about this.
Yeah.
And as long as what you're getting feels good, you're
Yeah.
totally clear. If
Yeah.
it doesn't feel good, drop it.
Yeah.
Try another day when you feel better, or when you've, done EFT on fearing the spirit world. Because if you have too many fears, you're going to attract what you fear. Because you're
Right.
law of
Yeah.
attraction. It's not it just works. So, um, you know
And
what I
they
mean?
Yeah, no, this is really great. And you mentioned the EFT, emotional freedom technique. For those of you who are not aware with that, it's a tapping where we can release worry and mindset issues, and we can use it for any topic, anything, or a trauma. I knew a therapist who used it for post-traumatic stress disorder, people from the war, actually, and it helped them. And I've used it to clear old money stories and whatnot. It's really a feel good thing. So you can look it up, EFT tapping, for whatever topic you currently want to feel better about, like EFT for money barriers, or EFT for fears, or whatever. And then you find something on YouTube, you can tap into that. That can be a really cool tool, actually. Thanks for bringing that up. And then also, thanks for role modeling and showing that uh, there is so much goodness we can tap into as support on the other side. I really appreciate that you share that. We need the unicorns in the world to know that it's all good, and we're not crazy. We're just rocking the full playfulness, which yeah, that's funny. That's just a story that came through, right? The collective consciousness. A lot of times we think, oh my gosh, we are like, what do people think? That's that story again, right? What do people think when we dress up and walk around sparkling, or with a wig or whatever? And I've also broken through a lot, if not all of the barriers there. I'm not sure. But every time I do dress up, like for recently, I was doing I have two bands now because I'm also living full out, and I felt like wearing a wig with the second one. It was like this long pink wig and big lashes and whatever. I just walked around like that, and I got so much joy come back to me
Mhm.
because I was living in this joy, and people were even thinking I that was my hair, or like that I just dress up like that at a normal daily, and um it was just great. I visited a friend once in Barcelona and bought a tutu, and I walked around with a tutu in the town, like a blue tutu and a sparkling hat, and that is not something that you see there typically. They're not so colorful, and Switzerland too, right? But I got smiles, and what I see also is it gives people permission to also tap into joy. And when I was in chemo, I had a guy ask me, like, where did I get my sparkle mask? A guy asked me for sparkle. I just heard in another Suman is watching at 1 a.m. from India. Thank you for all the good vibes and love, and acknowledging all of you watching live. I know there were several people, Carolyn and James, and thank you. If you have questions, pop them in. We can address them. I can see them now, and we will also address the questions later. But I wanted to share one more story, which I thought was really cool. And then I will find a wrap up wisdom from you, Rachel, and the unicorns, whichever wants to come through. I want to share like a small story I heard in physiotherapy the other week. One of the therapists there was telling me that she knows a group of guys who go climbing, and they have a sparkle lip gloss they take with them. And guys, okay, in Alaska, badass guys who climb up freaking steep mountains like rock climbing, they take sparkle lip gloss. I am telling you this very clearly. And they put it on their faces when they face a scary situation. And what it does for them is, like, you cannot be scared when you're when you have joy and when something is so ridiculous. So it also really helps you break through fears. And that also helped me on my cancer journey, like singing and those things during procedures helps you not focus on the pain, but you focus on the joy and the laughter. And it helps you so much find power and it's amazing. So that was the story I wanted to share. That also guys can use sparkle for their benefit. So, what did you get that you would love to share as a walkaway wisdom from yourself, and then also from the unicorns before we close this interview?
Well, to follow up on what you just said, I think we are the ones that are afraid of being judged. But when we actually do the thing we want to do in the world, whether it's like have green hair or sparkles or walk around with glitter and wigs, which I've done all of those things, you mostly just get back lots of smiles and lots of compliments. And like, I walk around as intimate alien all the time and people love it. It is like, it brightens their day. So
Literally.
you're really the only one that's afraid of being you. People will embrace you if you choose to do so. Now, obviously, not everywhere, not every time. You will get some pushback sometimes, but that is so little in comparison to how much joy you'll receive being you and how much joy you'll bring to the world.
Yeah, I love it. And the pushback, if somebody, and that's a cool thing that you can also discover as you play with this book, like catching those voices and fears and helping break through them playfully. I've found like those pushback things, if somebody is not in the joy mood, which is okay, we're all on our own journey, right? Like sometimes we just can't handle it and it's not for us, we're not ready for it, we're just, well, it's just too much. And what the case is, I found, is that it's their story, right? It's where they're at. That doesn't mean that you can't have your joy. And it doesn't mean anything about you if they don't like it. It just means they don't like it. Hi, Dan. We have somebody from Kodiak watching. We're just wrapping up a sparkling interview. Awesome. And did you have any last words of wisdom, Rachel, from the spirit world? Anything that wants to come through, unicorns or otherwise, or Merlin?
Okay, let's see. Well, we've already really said it all, that you're the boss, right? And you can have any life that you choose. So where are you going with that? What do you want to do with that? That's such a fun question to ponder. What do you want? What is your dream life? That is a very possible reality for you. So definitely let that in. Let that in.
I love it. I love it so much. Thank you so much, Rachel and Spirit. All of you who joined us with your amazing wisdom. I want to share where you can find out more about Rachel Archelaus, the author of this amazing intuitive art book, How to Have a Two-Way Conversation with Your Higher Self, and really find a powerful support for your life that feels amazing, actually, because you play with art and get your best answers. You find her on intuitivearts.com. You said you have a really cool freebie there too. You want to share real quick what that is?
Yeah, so we have a free class. You can learn the method and be off and running in less than an hour.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. I love it. Thank you for that. And then for all of you who want to hear more about what I do, my sparkle deal, and how this book can help you, whether you want a more sparkle in your business or on your cancer healing journey, these are currently areas that I focus on very much. I have goodies on my website, and you can find access to the book there as well, and free Facebook groups that I have. So dig in and explore what calls you. And yeah, that was our interview for today. I hope it served. I know it served whoever caught it. Stay curious, allow the play. And thank you so much, Rachel, for having been here with me. It was such a pleasure. Thank you, and everybody.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, so amazing. Okay, I'm going to end the live.